after seeing a lot of reviews on the new Atari Lego set, I decided I would provide a review from a bias standpoint of somebody who actually still owns and uses an Atari to this day. So this is the set, which comes with the main console, the joystick, a games and game holder, and 3 little mini builds reflecting those games. The other feature inside of this is a little scene of a kid playing his Atari console, which appears to me to be like a basement scene. The comparison. We will take the main console, and I happen to have an actual Atari. So side-by-side comparison, you can see that their sizes are almost identical. There are some differences on curves and thickness of lines and stuff, but they're pretty much the same scale. Look at the back side of the Atari build. So representation of the controller ports, the little toggle switches for the difficulty for each player, which corresponds down here. The power port is indicated, and then even the channel select switch is represented. What's not there is the printing, which is actually an emboss on the actual console on the top that represents where to plug in the controller and the difficulty and the power and such. The switches between the two, the actual Atari has a clicking sound that's kind of satisfying. The Lego Atari just has a lever that moves. Same goes with the color black and white mode. And then these, the game select and the game reset, are spring loaded just like they were on the actual Atari. So here is an actual Atari controller, and here's the brick built one. So they are similar, but you can see width-wise the Lego one is not nearly as wide as it should be. Depth-wise it's fairly close, still a little small. The printing on it, again there is a discrepancy here that the actual Atari says top up here, and this one just has the pattern that you see. Both joysticks have very good movement similar to each other, but the button clicks on this one. Unfortunately, they did not include a paddle controller, which I think is the other iconic controller of the Atari. This is the part that I think's kind of the neatest comparison of the two. So we have the 3 brick-built games, and then I actually have copies of the 3 actual cartridges. So comparing the brick-built and the actual cartridge, the brick-built ones follow all the same core styling of the actual cartridge, but they used Lego piece shapes to represent the images, which I think is really cool. And then they also have the spine label. Here's the next one. Again, spine label, and you can clearly tell that it's a brick-built inspiration of the original cover. And then the third one, the Centipede game, you can see here. One thing that some people may not realize is that, like for this game, there were various different covers for the cartridge. So back when Atari was making game cartridges, they kept changing the covers. So you can even get like a text-only version of this without the graphic. This little shelf here, I feel was kind of the worst of the Lego set, just because it doesn't really add much to it, and I kind of fear that over time, if you put your cartridges in there, you would start to wear out the label because there's no gap. So you're just rubbing up the Lego label against the top of these. The last part of this Lego set are these little builds. Again, I think they're cool representations of it, but I think it just drove up the cost of the main set, and probably several people wouldn't care to have these or to pay the extra cost for them, me being one of them. But they are very cool. They represent each of the games. One of them actually has the little hidden Easter egg in it. And here's the third one. So I think it would have been a wiser choice if they had released 2 Atari sets, one with the console and games, and then one that had these 3 in it. Because I think some people may, if these were at a low enough price point, may have just wanted the diorama. Overall though, I think it is a very, very good representation of the original Atari, and it was the first set that I've bought for myself retail in a long time, and the most expensive set I've ever bought for myself of a Lego set. More videos like this will be released soon, most of it being from discontinued sets from like the 80s, 90s, and up, and they will be pieced together sets with reviews of sets that are not likely to be found in the wild anymore. Thank you for watching.